Okay.
All right.
All right. Welcome to Fringeworthy, Team 6, otherwise known as Team Banzai, exploring a alternate Earth where all the oceans have been uplifted up higher than the top of Mount Everest, leaving all the ocean bottom free for the immense population of the planet to spread out and prosper. Unfortunately, for some strange reason, sometime after that, it's ever since that happened, the population of the planet has been reducing, and no one really knows why. But so it's the team has found their way to the Zamboni uplift control station on Mount Everest, and has found the not so hidden elevator that goes all the way up to the top of. Well, it's confusing because Mount Everest the ocean should be above Mount Everest, yet if they go up the elevator, they find themselves at the top of Mount Everest, and it's right above the ocean. It's sea level. So anyways, they're seeing what's there at the station, and we will pick up there. So guys, what can I tell you? You guys have been doing a lot of research. You've been looking at a bunch of stuff. There's a lot of stuff inside in the warehouse. Obviously, it was designed to be used primarily to build the station, and there's still things left over, including repair equipment and things like that. Tell me what you're looking into. Okay.
Well, I was thinking.
You just stopped, Chen Wei.
You were thinking? I think
he was thinking.
Ken, we can't hear you. All of a sudden, you right after you started talking, you stopped.
Thinking is very dangerous.
And he's gone.
I told you thinking was dangerous.
Well, actually thinking is dangerous. What passes for thinking is also dangerous, but in a different way.
Fair enough. Anyway.
All right, well, let's move on to somebody else then. So, Gandalf, what you doing?
It's a good question.
Thank you.
Looking
hey, can you hear me?
Maddox and
Yes.
seeing if I can find
Okay, then.
more detailed
On
Test.
on any notations for possible side effects of the whole uplift.
Well, I mean, the biggest concern was that it wasn't going to be it wasn't going to be stable. B, they were concerned that when it happened, it might have just scoured the entire planet of all life. Okay, there's those were the two major issues. I mean, everything else was mostly just power and basically the very complex mathematics that were involved in what you now know is the uplift formula is kind of a fractal, which allowed it to basically the standing wave could be shaped rather than just being some kind of straight up and down geometric thing. So that was all part of an immense pre-calculated, fortunately, calculation that went into the uplift mechanism, the control system.
Right. I'm looking more specific as to if any of those side effects could cause the drop in birth rate.
But it could be, but here's the thing. Okay, the drop in birth rate occurred sometime. It might have started immediately upon it, but I'm saying is it wasn't noticed, but until after years, decades, even 100 years after. I mean, it wasn't like suddenly, wasn't like, Marvel Endgame where there was a snap and 50% of the population vanished. So
I guess what I'm
there's
saying,
nothing in the files that you're looking at that have anything to do with that.
Okay.
That's basically the short answer there. If you want that kind of information, then probably that's something you should be asking the committee, the center, the council back at Sanctuary City or New Jerusalem and the church, because they're the ones who'd be tracking that kind of information.
Okay.
So, all right, but everything that you can see, I mean, I suspect that the calculations are beyond you. It all looks like they took a lot of due diligence, and the fact that they built the thing that uplifted the basically a column of stone so that the top of Mount Everest actually was raised up to be above the ocean level, which is about half a mile deep.
It got extensions.
It got an extension, yeah. And that waveform is still in existence inside of the mountain, and then rising up through the ocean. So they're which was again one of the major things why they did it, was to prove to everybody that it was stable and that they didn't have to worry about it. So for a period of time there was a giant column of stone rising up above Mount Everest, another half a mile. So getting to the top of Mount Everest was now a much different thing. Of course, now there's an elevator, so it's actually in some ways a lot easier than it used to be.
I don't know. I had no problem summiting Everest, so just hit the button. Well, I guess we had problems, but
yeah, you did have some problems.
Only once we got to the top.
Yeah, you would have had a lot of problems if you were trying to repair that in like vacuum. Well, or high altitude air,
Yeah.
Fortunately, there's air up above the ocean as well as
water at
below
the
it.
bottom of the ocean.
Yeah. So, all right. Okay, so that's what Gandalf was doing. Okay, Angel, what are you doing?
Words are hard. Unless anyone else has any opposition to it, I'm gonna go wander around the warehouse to see if there's possibly anything that anything that we could use. I'm so sorry. Words have been extremely difficult today. For wherever else we decide to go. That's
Okay, so you're looking for something useful if you decide to go somewhere else. It's very vague.
Yeah, I was just gonna wander through.
She's searching the warehouse.
Searching the warehouse.
Yeah. Well, okay. So what you find is all these books that are that have a chain going through their binding, and it goes around this big long shelf, and they go like a good 5, probably 10 feet. Okay, and inside the book is basically all these parts, okay, and the parts say, this is what it is. It says where it is in where it should be, if it is in fact in the warehouse, and if not, what's the where should you order it from back 200 years ago, back whatever country,
the
whatever
NSN number to order it. Yeah.
But, I mean, it's also got a country code on it, like, so this country has this part, and so you need to order it.
If I had to pick up this book and move it.
Well, it's chained. Okay, you can break the chain if you want to, but they're chained so people can't take them up and walk away with them. First of all, secondly, there's pads, and pencils that you could write numbers down that are nearby. Okay, but it's basically they're all next to each other and they can fold open, but they can't all fold open simultaneously.
Testing.
I can.
Testing.
Okay.
All right. So, anyways, you're seeing thousands, tens of thousands of parts that could be. I mean, some things are going to be obvious, like so and so nut.
Toilet paper.
Toilet paper. So and so nut. So like 6. 3/4 inch nut hex. And so and so gauge wire,
Fringe
copper,
crystals.
Yeah, there's no entry under Tamelran crystals.
Aw, how sad.
Yeah.
Sorry.
I was wondering. I was gonna do basically the same thing. Try to find a way to get ourselves to get our transport working. I know we got the plane. And I know you said that there are fusion engines that we could, in theory, put in a plane.
Yeah.
I really wouldn't know how to do that, but do party members have the skills to do that? And are there instructions anywhere, like technical manuals?
You can always search for it.
Okay. Is that something you want to do, Ken?
Well, it's something I want to do, but also another thing I want to look for. When we came here, we had a crystal that basically a device that attracted a crystal here, and it caused our vehicle to be drawn here.
Yeah, an orange crystal
So
inside
if
of a clear
if there's a way to
plastic
turn
case.
it. If looking for any information, like maybe a diary or a logbook or something which describes how to change that, because if we can change it to repel, we can use it to move away, and if we can change it to either attract or repel, we can use it to basically move almost any way we want to.
Right. Okay. All right. So, where are you going to go to look for that information? Can you be specific?
I don't know. I mean, if there are any books, there may be logbooks.
Yeah, there's a lot of paper. There's an enormous amount of paper in this place. Okay, that's why I'm asking.
I mean, something about it, maybe like a logbook that there isn't too much for. I mean, you might have thousands of pages about how to repair airplanes. You're probably not going to have thousands of pages about Tamerlan crystals. And also, anything with a Tamerlan crystal would probably be important. The books would probably be arranged in a way that makes them look important. Like maybe on a prominent shelf, or having a big sign saying, important information here, or something like that. I see you're shaking your head ironically, which sounds like.
Well, you're not helping me help you, Ken. You're not helping me help you, Ken. That's why I'm shaking my head. But okay, I'll do what I can.
I want to try to find books that are in a position that shows that they're important.
Yeah, I understand, Ken. This is what you do every single adventure. Where's the library? Where's all the information that answers every question I have about the adventure?
There are a whole bunch of books, Bruce?
I did mention there's a whole bunch of books. I mentioned there are file cabinets full of paper, and there's card catalogs.
Okay,
and,
let's go to the card catalog and look under, like, Camelo and Crystal, or not Camelo and Crystal. Look under Orange Crystal. Look under Transportation. Look under
okay.
Air Equipment.
All right. Well, okay, fine. All right. So under Air Equipment, you'll
equipment. Rare
what?
As in not common. I didn't say air. I said rare.
Rare equipment. Oh, okay. Well, there's nothing listed as rare equipment. Okay, but okay. So, Ken, you might want to remember that back when you were in Sanctuary City, there was an entire group of people, okay, who were into finding Zamboni, okay, and they had all these artifacts that supposedly belonged to Zamboni, and the crystal was one of them. All right. So for some reason, these things seem to be closely associated with the actual person of Zamboni.
Okay.
All right. So maybe instead
here
of looking in the card catalog for this kind of information, maybe you'd want to go to Zamboni's personal office and look through his papers, because maybe it would be there, and that would reduce the amount of searching you're doing by probably 100-fold.
Okay, I'll do that.
If you don't find anything, then I can see where you might want to spread out.
I will also ask my data buddy. Data buddy, do you have when I talk to Zamboni followers, did you save any recordings? I'd like to know if there are any terms that they've used that maybe I can look up.
Okay.
They call equipment by unusual names.
He says that all the information about the people who were searching for Zamboni was all on the stream. He does have a recording of when you went to the party and saw the various things. So,
okay, can you search through the recording and tell me any names that they used to refer to Zamboni's equipment?
Okay. All right.
Look up those names.
Sure. Okay. The item. There were two things that you. That one was the uplift. The uplift shard, okay, which was the thing that you have that was supposedly, it was kind of, it was something that was something he had created using the standing wave technology, okay, and the other thing that you're interested in was it was called a what was the term? The pyramidal. It wasn't called a key. It was called the pyramidal actuator. And housing. So those two things.
I will look those terms up.
Okay. Well, again, it's one of those things. This is where you need your data buddy, because you're basically going to go through all of his papers, that are in there, in all of those things that are in his file drawers and stuff like that, and you discuss and just basically having it do the OCR to figure out what, where Zamboni refers to something like this. Okay, anything that has the word crystal, anything that has the word pyramid, anything that, these are the terms that you should be giving me, Ken. Okay, because you're not a technological guy, but you can describe.
You said there are two terms, one which was pyramidal something, and the other was uplift something. And
uplift
I want to
shard.
look up those terms. Uplift
okay.
shard, and I want to look up those terms.
Okay. Well, anyways, and there's no reference whatsoever to the uplift shard. Okay, that's not in his papers at all, apparently. At least not there in that office. Okay. However, there is some information about the pyramidal actuator. Okay. Apparently, this was something that was designed by Zamboni, and it was done so that they could, they could put basically a standing wave in front of the entrance to the station as a security measure. Okay, and it would fit into into the socket, which was also provided by Zamboni. Okay, it wasn't manufactured anywhere; it was provided by Zamboni, and which is one of the reasons why it doesn't appear in Kaitlin. Angel does not find anything having to do with crystals like that, because at least that is because neither of these objects can be replaced, nor are they being kept on the shelves. So these were two items that apparently were not made available anywhere else for security reasons, but there may be other reasons why. So essentially, there's no information whatsoever about its ability to fly on its own.
It's interesting that it would be used to activate the elevator, access to the elevator.
Yeah. Right. So there were two basically places that it was used. Okay, one was the elevator, and one was the
entrance.
The entrance. Okay, and as Chen Wei is searching, there is some discussion. There is a short piece of paper that basically is a letter between Frank Zamboni and George Goss, where he talks about how he has a way of making sure that nobody has access to the upper levels without his direct permission, and that so he can go ahead with what they discussed. The development of the city ecosystem, as well as the other project that we discussed. Okay, and it's and that he's very says it's very important to George that you do this, because this isn't something I can do by myself. He says, we need your genius. We need you. This is your thing, not my thing. Okay, so but I will do everything I can to support you, both now and after, indicating that there was stuff going on, but it's written in a very, most of the things that are written are very, very straightforward, very not very clear. But this it seems somewhat vague the terminology. It's almost like he's reminding George of information that George should know about without actually saying it. Okay, so, but apparently there's this idea of the station not being accessible by anybody other than Zamboni himself is one of the reasons that you know. So, anyways, okay. So you find that, okay. There's also another letter in there, which basically says, George, you know, it worked. It's a big success, okay. But he says, he says, so you need to make sure, you know, that everything is in place, so we can do the changeover, okay? And you need to make sure your people are ready to go, so that, you know, so that we can handle this before the station is completely shut down. So there's some kind of conspiracy going on between George Goss and Zamboni about the things that are happening. All right. So that's what you've been able to find out, Ken. Even though you're not. Okay.
Yeah.
All right. And so moving on to Chuck. What's you doing, Chuck?
Well, I've seen a lot of your adventures, Bruce, and this one's even more complex than usual. And I'm pretty much lost. So what I'm gonna do is, I know that Chen Wei was looking through the office to Zamboni's office, going through OCRing papers for critical words and stuff. I've been focusing more on personal things. I read Zamboni's biography and such. Did he leave any personal papers behind? You said there was some sort of rift between Zamboni and Goss. Perhaps I can discover what it was.
Oh, there's no rift between them. It looks like they were like thick as thieves, which is kind of odd because George Goss was in charge of the setting up the new ecology on the ocean floor.
Right.
Okay. And Zamboni is doing the Zamboni uplift. You would not think these two people would have anything to discuss.
Yes, but they are thick as thieves, which doesn't make any sense.
Right.
So I'm going to attempt to go through and discern more about their relationship and maybe why they were so close.
Okay.
Okay. That's all I can really think of to do right now, so I'm going to do that.
All right. Okay.
I say maybe George was a disguised Tameller, and they do that.
I didn't know Schmert could change his shape.
Well,
if he
will,
why did he appear as a
Just like a
Tameller
leopard
in the
can't
first
change
place?
their spots.
Yeah. No one has ever seen Schmert change his shape.
No, he always appeared as Schmert. Oh,
but they could have like illusions.
True, but
or maybe he was just this guy, you know.
Well, I'm just gonna go with the fact that they're normal people for now, unless something swings me in a different direction.
Okay, Chuck. Well, I should say Mike. When everybody went up to the top and they went off and they went and they started searching around the top of Mount Everest. At one point, they did come across what looked to be some kind of a tomb, and it actually had the name of someone by the name of George Goss etched into
George Goss?
the stone. Yeah, at the time you didn't know. You know, the stone, and you guys just said, "Oh, well, we're just going to leave that alone," and you got involved with going off on floating islands. Okay, but I'm saying is that there actually is what apparently is his his resting place, George's resting place.
Oh wow.
Well, they said they
okay.
buried him on the island, so
Yeah.
Sure.
His resting place is here.
yes,
Apparently.
that's what they
All right.
said. That's why it's the sacred island.
Okay. Is there dates or times on the resting place?
It would have been in Roman numerals, so it would have been
Kaitlin
like
found it, so
No Roman numerals.
yeah, it was something like. Let me check here. I have to find out when he was born.
Pushed up the John B. sail.
are you singing the sloop, John B?
Of course.
Yeah, he. It's the numbers correspond to 1986.
Okay, 1986. And right now, do we know what year it is here?
Well, this happened during the 1950s, and it's 200 years later.
All right. Okay.
So, based upon what's there, he's been dead for a
200
long
years.
time.
Oh,
Okay. Okay. Fair enough.
170 years.
All righty.
Yeah.
Creek. All right. Okay. All right. Okay. Once
Does that
I
provide any illumination for you?
not really.
Okay. I'm sorry.
Maybe we should.
There's some
it's
illumination for you.
Assume.
I'm sorry, Mike.
Oh man, yeah. When your get up and go is got up and went. All right.
Giving Mike
Okay.
illumination.
All right. So
Yeah, I'll report back to the party, I guess, and see what everyone else has figured out.
Okay. Well, you could go and get on the elevator and go up there.
I thought.
Well,
that's right.
choice.
That's right. We're at the. I forgot we were at the bottom now.
Yeah, you're at the bottom.
Okay,
yeah, you guys had to wait until after the big rainstorm happened, and then you.
Oh, that's right.
You checked to make sure the elevator was still working properly, and it did come. It did come all the way down.
All right.
You said you guys were going to start working on the elevator to fix all the things that you jury rigged out of parts that were actually in the elevator. Now nobody's done that yet, as far as I know.
Okay,
but there was a week that went by. So if somebody wants to say that's what I was doing that week,
I do want to do that. I think I was the one who said that anyway.
Okay.
I'd be better suited for that, Chen Wei. That's what I do for a living. I'll do it. You do the research.
Okay. Because Chen Wei, you were really busy doing that stuff. We're talking.
All
right. Yeah, that'd be a good thing. That'd be a good thing for Mike to work on. That's what he likes to do.
All right.
I will
Mike
spend
was
the
working
week
on all that, and then at the end of it, you guys all kind of got together over dinner and started talking about, stuff that was going on, and what you discovered and things like that. And then you started mentioning George Goss, and that's when Mike, you might mention to everybody, there was this, gravestone up on the top, and to somebody by the name of George Goss. Maybe it was his son, but or maybe
he hid a message in his gravestone, or like
message in a gravestone.
Cool. Finally, after all these years.
I mean, that's a real possibility.
All right, I'll bring it up to the party as they're talking about that sort of thing. I'll say, yeah, up at the top we found this George Goss's final resting place. It's way at the top.
But
I think we
you
spotted
never did
it
anything
earlier,
about it
but
because you got involved in running off to floating islands.
Yes.
Okay. Yeah, I wonder if something could have been hidden there, because if you did want to hide something to be found by people in the future, that would be a place to hide it. Of course, it could be that nothing is being hidden, but I'm saying if.
Well, Chen Wei, are you talking about looking for the word? Not
Desecrating.
desiccating, no.
It
Desecrating.
would probably
Thank you,
not
thank
be
you.
in the grave itself. It would probably be like in the monument or something.
Oh, okay. Well, if you want
Well,
to head up after dinner and look, I'll go with you.
yeah, there was no monument. It was basically
Oh,
there was like you guys don't remember this description at all, apparently.
I
Okay,
do.
you guys were going around. There was like a flat piece of rock that was covered with stuff. You were clearing stuff away, and you saw along the side of it, where it could have gone up to the next level, further up the mountain
Right.
top. There was a place where a flat stone was in the side. It was kind of like the gravestones that are over, if in the catacombs in Paris, bodies would just lay in thin little things, and they would just put stones up in front of them, and
Right.
okay, this was like a thing that was along the side there. So if there was a body in there, then it's likely it was laying on its side, and they just put a big stone in front of it and sealed it in, as well as they could, which apparently is very what they did a very good job. I mean, you don't know, you may open it up, I mean, nothing but dust inside. Who knows? But it was something that you ran into. Yeah, you didn't make you didn't think anything of it because it said George Goss, and who's George Goss?
Right, and who the heck is George Goss?
Yeah, until you started going through the paperwork and stuff, you didn't know that he was the guy in charge of setting up the ecosystem for the planet.
Oh wow, yeah, much big thing here, yeah.
10 billion people are going to be relying upon this guy's work.
Billions and billions.
Now, he didn't personally plant every tree.
Of the billions of stars in the universe, the brightest one is the one that gives off the most light.
And is closest to us.
Mm-hmm.
And it's closest to us, too. All righty. Okay, enough with Carl Sagan impersonation. All right, okay.
Okay, so Jason.
we'll go.
Go ahead.
Okay, go to Jason.
Well, I didn't want to interrupt you. I thought you sounded like you had some more you wanted to say.
Yeah, after once we get everything organized, we'll check out Chen Wei's theory about a dying clue up in the grave. We'll try that.
Well, if there's no monument, then probably it's just a grave.
Okay, well.
Oh, so no reason to check then, right?
I mean, if it was something I was thinking, but it's not like I found a book which says, look in my grave and see what you find. If I run across one of those, I'd say, yes, let's look.
Yeah, Mike said that he's the one who said there's a grave up there. Maybe there's, maybe there's something there.
All right.
You're the one who was talking about this George Goss guy from your research.
Exhuming a tomb is a grave matter.
I just took a dice of damage.
That was bad.
All my tomb jokes, I don't remember them. Okay.
I have a green tomb.
Better give it some deep thought.
Okay.
Oh, for fuck's sake, all of you. You're bad.
Yeah.
I hide behind Angel to prevent taking any more damage.
Why me?
Okay. I don't know. Instinct. All right. After dinner, I'll head back up with my entrenching tool.
Jason, before that happens, Jason, do you have something you want to talk about?
Sure. I want to lower. Well, we lowered the thing.
Yes.
The landing pad thing, or the elevator to the landing pad, or part of the landing pad. I'm not exactly sure.
It sounded like it needed maintenance.
Right. All right. But since it's down here, I'm going to go ahead and open the doors and drag and try to figure out how to get the walker thing in to the garage bay.
Well, you actually raised it back up again because all the air was being evacuated.
I thought we just closed the door.
No, because then you wouldn't have been able to leave. There was like no airlock kind of thing. Though there probably should have been, maybe.
Well, I thought the elevator came down and then the door opened and like we could close the door and leave the elevator down, but
it's not. Yeah, it's just that the air in the rest of the place. Yeah, the air in the rest of the place is higher pressure. Okay.
Okay, so I'm going to close the door and then do the thing with the thing and bring it in.
So there probably is some kind of at least a small airlock where you can shut a door.
We would have to have it down to be able to fix it anyway. So.
Well, no, I'm just saying, is it getting in and out of the of the elevator area? I mean, it had pretty big doors. Well, it had really big doors to bring stuff in and out of the warehouse too. So,
sure.
That's why what I originally said is it wasn't really designed for the doors to be open. But yeah, you can raise it up, open the doors, go in and out, and then when you decide to lower it down again, then you can you make sure those doors to the rest of the place are shut. Otherwise, all the air evacuates out. Well, I mean, a little bit. You know what I'm saying? We're going from like maybe 10,000 feet pressure down to sea level, whatever, So.
Or vice versa, sea level pressure to 10,000.
Well, the inside, I'm saying in the rest of the station, the air pressure is higher.
Right.
Okay. So anyway, maybe I'm getting too complicated. I don't want to get in the weeds. All right. So yeah. So you got the thing down there. So yeah, the you can see the walker out there on the pad.
Well, I want to figure out a way. I mean, is there like a chain fall that we can use to drag it in here? Or?
Oh, sure. I mean, you definitely. Or
I can make Kaitlin do her little hop thing and.
That's what I was about to say.
That's how
pull it in.
No, they're definitely okay. Yeah, there's definitely like winches that can drag things in and out. Okay.
Okay.
There's probably. Yeah.
I want to drag the walker thing into the garage, into the bay.
Okay.
And then close the door.
All right.
And not necessarily make it go back up yet, because that way we can access. And what kind of airplane is it?
Okay, there was an airplane, and then there's the walker. The walker.
Right. What kind of airplane is down there?
It's a prop airplane.
Cool.
Single prop.
I can fly.
Twin prop. Twin prop.
Small though.
Okay. No problem.
It's obviously designed for, let's say, 6 people plus small luggage.
Okay.
Yeah.
Okay. Yeah.
Kind of like the size of the plane that they used on Wings.
Mm-hmm.
Oh, okay. Very good. Very familiar.
Bonanza.
Okay.
Okay, so a very small commuter-style airplane.
You also notice that there's a number of like weather balloons, but they're not weather balloons. They're actually bigger, and there's some big tanks of hydrogen.
Mm-hmm.
So it kind of makes you think that that maybe the idea is for you to attach a big hydrogen buoy that will and you move the airplane out, and it basically it either takes up most of the weight, or even goes into positive, and you can just lift it up, and then it can start flying, and then you can basically separate off the
kind of like a glider.
It's not a glider.
Right, but the way a glider gets towed up and then released.
This is more like they're just basically taking the weight of the plane and lifting it with like a big bag of hydrogen.
Mm-hmm.
So it looks like that's in there by design like that.
Well, once I get the walker in, I'm going to pre-flight the airplane and see if it's airworthy or if it's 200 years of decay and worthless.
Okay.
That'll be what I spend my time doing.
Okay. All right. Okay. I can tell you right now that sitting for at least for 200 years has not done anything good for the plane.
No.
Okay, so if you were to use this, I think that you would probably want to strip the entire plane down and then put it back together again. But that's entirely dependent upon how dire the situation is.
Well, I guess I'll pull it apart then.
Yeah, the one thing you know that will actually work probably without fail is the lifting bags.
Okay.
So, because it's just a matter of turning a tap and letting hydrogen go into a big bag, and there's nothing really to cause the bags to decay. I don't think, because they're not getting any sunlight to degrade them and stuff like that.
Right.
They are thin. They are like mylar.
Okay. So what I want to do is I will start stripping the airplane and doing the overhaul on the engine, I guess.
Did you still want to bring the walker inside?
Yeah, I was going to drag that inside just so it wasn't sitting out there.
Yeah, according to AI, a weather balloon could last for a few months to several years in storage, depending upon the material and storage conditions. So, for best longevity, store the balloon in its original packaging in a cool, dark, and dry place away from light and humidity, as these degrade the latex material.
Now, that's for a latex balloon.
Yeah. Yeah. So,
I mean, you can build a nylon one too, and like a hot air balloon style one.
Yeah.
It just weather balloons are inexpensive, so.
Well, hydrogen, is very small. Therefore, it's it's anything that isn't like nylon or or something like that is going to be probably pretty leaky. But
well, I mean, they made the Hindenburg. The Hindenburg used hydrogen to fly across the ocean, so.
Yeah,
that's correct.
And it was painted with rocket fuel, so.
The outside of it?
The exterior.
Yeah.
The outside of it was painted with rocket fuel, and they filled it full of hydrogen, and they wonder why it burned.
All right, then.
Okay. So you got that going. All right. So you're.
Yeah, I spend my time dinking around with airplane.
All right. There are repair manuals in the walker, but it's basically about how to basically how to repair basic stuff. It doesn't get into like how to make a micronuclear reactor. It's kind of like place micronuclear to remove micronuclear reactor. These are the things you have to do to uncouple it. There's nothing about how to fix the micronuclear reactor. It's kind of
it's not broken, is it?
No, but I'm just saying is the instructions that are in the walker has to do with doing maintenance on the walker, but there's parts of the walker that obviously can't be repaired. There's no user repairable parts inside here.
So I can remove the reactor though, because it tells me how to do that.
You absolutely can remove the reactor.
Okay. I'll worry about that later.
Okay.
I'm going to see what I need to do to. I mean, I wouldn't know how to make the nuclear reactor power the airplane per se.
Well, it operates on it produces electricity. Okay, so if you can use an electric motor to turn the prop, then there you go.
Right. Basically, it's going to weigh as much as a Tesla. Thud.
Well, it doesn't have any. It doesn't have any batteries. But
that's true. I mean, a reactor might weigh something. I don't know. We'll figure it out.
They weren't really trying to make it light, considering it was a walker.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
And yet, it managed to get yeeted away.
Mm-hmm.
Okay.
But we cheated there too.
All right. So So, like I say, after a week, you guys all sit down. You start passing this information around. Everyone's like, "Wow, this is interesting." Okay, and who would have thought, and so forth.
Right.
So, hearing all this, what do you think should be your next steps? Angel?
I think
You're the
we should
easiest
make-
because you basically just looked at manuals inside the warehouse.
Me and manuals. That was fun. Not really, but you know what? I put myself to it. I think at least words are fucking hard. I think we should at this point focus on focus on repairing on repairing the plane. If uh, yeah.
Okay.
Yeah, I think we should focus on repairing the plane at this point.
Okay. So Angel thinks you guys should focus on repairing the plane. All right.
Okay, that's what I do.
I would.
Okay, Chen. Well, you had some other things you thought about doing. Chen Wei, did
Yeah,
you?
I
What?
would agree about repairing the plane, except that I was hoping that we could find some way to power things related to that crystal, which obviously has an unlimited ability, to move things around. But I haven't really found anything. I mean, I found information about George, but nothing saying, flip this switch and the crystal, can move any direction you want it to move into. So it looks as though what I was trying to find came out of bust, even though I did find some useful information. So at this point, I'd say, yeah, let's try to repair the plane. Try to get a fusion motor in it, and I don't know what kind of backups we might need to have, but we probably should take some spare equipment so that the first thing that breaks because it's 200-year-old metal is going to strand us somewhere. Other than that, I don't really know because my search was not fruitful.
Wouldn't say that to be true at all. Okay.
But I would say yes, fix the plane.
Okay. Gandalf?
My thoughts as well are to fix the plane, but I am quite curious as to what might be in that tomb up topside.
Okay.
There could be stuff that no one knew what to do with when he died, and they just buried it in the tomb with him. He could have a journal up there. He could have anything up there. Again, there could be nothing up there. But we really don't know. We might as well look.
Okay.
Okay.
Jason?
Well, we know that Zamboni disappeared shortly after the uplift occurred, correct?
Yeah, supposedly while visiting Shanghai.
Right, which is just over there.
Yeah, not terribly far away from where we are.
And he just kind of vanished. Nobody knows where he went. I'm betting he went up onto the floating island area that this guy had moved people to. I mean, because there's so many inferences to what Gauss was doing beyond just establishing the ecosystem. So I think Zamboni's final resting place is somewhere up above as well. Now, whether or not, I mean, we happened to run into an island that told us about Gauss, who delivered them from slavery and brought them up there to the light. This is 200 years of storytelling, essentially. and how that may have changed. So once we get the aircraft operational, I think we need to go up top and with a boat and seek out some of these floating islands and see if we can get some more information, because I think Zamboni's secrets are above us and not down here. He wouldn't have left journals on the ground for people to find, especially if he was talking about anything of the Temeleran influence that he was utilizing to do things with. I mean, we know he had some fringe technology, so I think we need to further explore that aspect as well.
Okay.
So I'm willing to devote my time to working on the aircraft until it's to a point where we think it's where it's airworthy, and then I think we should build a boat or something out of and the machine shop, the maintenance facility, and take it up to the top and go find more of these islands.
That brings us to Mike.
All right, very good. Now, I spent the week fixing the elevator, getting that all in tip-top shape. After that, I learned that Jason was working on the airplane. Jason, you disassembled it. You're trying to fix it. You're doing what?
I'm trying to see what needs to be replaced, and I'm
Okay.
guessing all the hoses would need to be replaced. Metal doesn't actually age as long as it's not exposed to elements, so it'll all be fine. But we need to rebuild the engine if we were going to utilize that engine. Now the other option is to pull one of the reactors out of the walker and build an electric motor to drive the propeller with.
Depending on, well, the air is so thin up here, I don't know if you'll be able to, if the
could also
the standard engine on the airplane will work.
Well, it would have to because it got here. And airplanes fly at very high altitudes, so I mean,
it's true.
We could make it a jet aircraft. I mean, the big problem you run into with airplanes is pressurizing. You have to be on oxygen once you go above a certain altitude. We pressurize airplanes now.
Right.
I mean, we've had twin engine aircraft fly across the Atlantic Ocean and at high altitudes for since the 30s. So
true.
So that's not really the issue. My idea was, we could possibly create a ramjet as well with the materials we have, were we so inclined. I think it's just be easier to make an electric motor to push the propeller with.
Now, Bruce, you said there's JADO here.
Yeah, there are some JADO packs that we can attach to the aircraft as well.
Yeah,
but it has to be, the framework and the structure has to be proper for it to do that.
Yes, agreed. Okay. All right, now that I've checked that out, I want to go check out the Roux tomb. If anyone, that's what I'm going to do next.
So you and
Gandalf
are going to go
maybe
Graverobbers.
Yep, if Chen Wei wants to come, he can.
Okay.
Yeah, okay.
You guys go be Tomb Raiders.
Yeah.
Oh, jeez.
I will do my Angelina Jolie impression as best I can.
Okay. Let's see here.
Well, where exactly was this tomb? Is it like where the natives up above are, or is it in a separate place?
It's on the island.
The natives are in a separate place.
Okay.
The stationary island.
Yes, the only island as far as you know.
It was all islands.
The only stationary island as far as you know.
Stationary, yeah.
Okay. Actually, since you raised that question, I'll tell you that when you're looking through all the various things like the pictures on the walls and stuff like that, you actually do run across a picture of during the construction of the, basically it's like a set of pictures during the construction of the actual Zamboni control base. And you can see that there is a dirigible lowering down basically a bunch of stuff down onto that platform outside.
Oh.
This is before the uplift, when there was still sunlight. Okay, lowering it down onto that. So they had dirigibles delivering most of the gear that was put onto this location.
That makes sense.
Yeah. Historically, dirigibles could get up to 16,000 feet because fighter planes couldn't. It was done for their safety. I'm not saying they had fighter planes attacking dirigibles because they really didn't have any world wars, remember? But what I'm saying, though, is the technology existed to be able to do that.
Technology.
Yeah. Okay. Anyways, so I just wanted to answer your question of how were they able to get stuff up here in the first place? Dirigibles.
Right.
And when you're basically writing a check that the rest of the world has to cash, you can pretty much write big checks.
I got a big check. Like those ones that you get when you win the Publishers Clearinghouse one.
Yeah.
Uh-huh.
And then Publishers Clearinghouse went bankrupt.
Because nobody reads magazines anymore.
Well, that's good.
Yeah.
I don't have to pay for my 99 cents for my 12 cassettes then.
Well, there's some people that won those, and they're finding out that their money for life is not actually going to last as long as they thought.
Well, that's sad. I didn't know anybody actually ever won those things.
Oh yeah, they always did. You know, you have to. Someone has to win. It's like going gambling in a casino. If nobody wins in the casino, people don't go to the casino.
I just thought it was like some relative of whoever runs the thing. So
no, they had legitimate people who won, but it's like $10,000 or $1 million when you're talking about a $1 billion corporate set of industries. Okay. Anyways, all right. So who's going to go up? Who's going to go up and check out the gravesite of George Goss? Okay. So Gandalf is going to go up, and I assume that you're going to do it, Jason, considering you're the one who repaired it.
not me.
Oh, I'm sorry. That was Mike.
Yeah.
Yes, Mike. Yes, Mike repaired the
elevator. All right. So Mike and Gandalf. Anybody else going to go up?
Yeah, Chen Wei will go.
Okay. Angel, you gonna hang in? You gonna hang? I thought some people were gonna basically help, Jason repair the plane.
Yeah.
Just me, I guess.
Apparently, I'm helping Jason. Yeah,
Okay.
I was gonna help him anyway. So.
Okay.
Hey, don't mind me. I have.
I'm not. I'm. Yeah. Okay.
Gosh.
You have Gogurt?
All right. So the three of you, basically, as far as I know, the orange crystal key thingy, whatever, is still in the elevator, and and so you guys can just go in the elevator and press the button that says go up.
All right.
All right, and it turns on, and it starts moving, and it actually sounds better than the last time. It's humming, and it's not making the quite as much of the vibration that you felt the last time. Because the gear, the teeth are smoother.
It's humming because it doesn't know the words.
Yeah, that's right. So anyway, so it's you feel it going, and then it's basically, it takes a long time, because what it's actually doing is it's actually going to the center of the mountain, okay, and then it's going up the mountain using
the inclinator.
Well, yeah. anyways, and so finally it reaches, it gets to one point, you hear a rumbling sound, which is the doors opening up, and then you go inside and go past that, and as you go past that, the air starts blasting down into the elevator, and you smell the moisture and the salt smell and stuff like that, and you go up and you hear the rumbling sound as it closes below you, and there's it stops, and the doors open and slide out on their newly updated tracks and such. And before you see a vast ocean.
Unlike the Basque Ocean, which is outside of Spain.
Bask in the glory of this ocean.
Right.
B-A-S-Q-U-E. Basque. Anyway.
All right. So now what are you going to do, guys?
All right, we'll head over to the Goss.
Okay.
To the Goss.
So you come out and you start climbing up and around the top of the mountain until you get to that location.
All right.
Give me a notice check, the three of you.
Everybody.
The three of you.
All right. Okay. D8 plus 12. Here we go.
5. Okay.
What is this? Hold on.
Okay.
2.
7.
2. Okay.
Yeah.
7. All right. Okay. So you guys basically find that place where, of course, it's all been torn away, and you're and so you doesn't look like anybody's messed with it. Okay. And it's and do you have any theories as to why it's up basically pretty close to the peak of the mountain?
Say again.
Do you have any theories as to why this grave is a fairly high distance up all away from the ocean?
Oh, to keep
No,
people from
none at all.
casually walking by and messing with it and not going there unless they have a real reason to.
Okay. All right. Thought you guys might want to say that. Okay. So you see it's there. It doesn't look like it's been touched since you left it. The only indication, it's you can see where you guys have scraped the vines
Bruce,
and the vegetation.
You said it's on the peak. Is this?
It's not on the peak. It's not on the peak. Okay.
Okay. It's not all the way up. But it's on a peak.
It's on the peak, but not the very top of it. Okay. It's on the side of it. All right.
Okay.
I'm just trying to tell you that it's not like right next to the door of the elevator. Okay. It's also not down right next to the water. The elevator is about 50 feet up off of the water. 50 might be. Let me see here. Let me check something. Yeah. Okay. Yeah, it's about 50 feet above the water level. Okay. It's important, but it's not something that affects you right now. All right. So there it is. What are you going to do with it?
All right. We're going to start digging then, I guess.
Okay.
How well sealed does it look?
What?
How well sealed does it look?
It looks very well sealed. You don't see any indication that it looks like it's been. There's apparently some kind of mortar around it, probably limestone. or something. I don't know. But it's also, if you inspect it, you can see there is a groove, where, but it looks like it was carved very carefully to be very close to the shape of the opening that it was in. Even irregularities, the stone seems to follow the irregularities of the wall that it's embedded in. So whoever did this they did it with great care. But it doesn't look like you can't get it out or something,
Okay.
So, is there something else you want to know, Gandalf?
Okay. How thick does the front stone look?
You have no idea. Basically, it's inset into the stone of the mountain itself. Okay, there's a little bit of an overhang over top of it. Okay, which is why it was kind of obvious when you started pulling away all the vines and the vegetation that was growing there. You could see that there was something there and that's when you realized that it was actually, a gravestone, because you could see the engraving cut into it.
Okay, what about what about any of those weird electric trees? Are any of those nearby?
Yes, there's one really big tree, and it is, it basically wraps around the top of the mountain, but its roots and things like that go toward, basically go down into the ground, and are somewhat spread around it. So you guys were afraid of approaching too closely because you were afraid that but you could see of the fronds, the leaves that were hanging off the branches and such that were hanging down. You could see basically the filaments in it that made you think that these things, were actually electrified. So yeah, but it's not like encroaching on the grave. Because these guys, the most likely thing, I'm not telling you this is true, most likely thing is that nobody would go and try to dig a grave where they thought they could be electrocuted.
Mm-hmm.
So it's safe enough there, and
okay.
There's a little path that's been cut, from that original landing you guys found up and over. So you got the landing, it goes up to a smaller landing, which is where the door is, and there's also a kind of a side passageway that looks like maybe one person, 3 feet or so could go along, so like a procession could carry it, over to where it was cut, into the side of the mountain.
Okay, well, how do you guys want to try and unseal it?
All right. Well, let's try we could go with a brute force method first and see what that does.
Okay, so what is your brute force method that you're going to do?
Well, I've got a shovel, and
Okay.
we can start digging into the ground and see what happens.
Okay.
Dynamite.
That's not going to work at all because it is
right.
actually in stone, and the shovel's not going to have any purchase. But you guys did have tools available to you down in the workrooms and things like that. So
do we have some lasers?
Not that you brought up with you, as far as I know.
Okay.
Do you? Do you have some lasers I'm not aware of?
Okay, Bruce is.
You did get your you had your weapons, right?
And that included lasers.
Well, there was that cutting laser, you know.
Yes, so
yeah,
can that cut stone?
absolutely can. So are you going to use your cutting laser to try to cut through the stone or something?
I say, yeah, why don't we use this? It's supposed to be for cutting. I've been using it as a weapon, but
Well, all
Okay.
right, but
do you think it's maybe it cuts too much, or I don't know. I don't want to
not sure.
Yeah.
cut
I
through
mean, you
something
guys
I don't want to cut through.
Yeah, Mike, you have a number of options here, okay? You could simply go and take a hammer and just smash it against the stone front until something gives, hopefully. You
Okay.
could go and pound chisels into the edge where the stone, fits into the side of the mountain. Okay, it's not
Yeah, that's what I was thinking, Bruce.
yeah.
I
So
do work lift the stone slab.
okay, and
sort
then
of.
Ken's thinking about using a laser and to do some cutting of some kind. Unless you absolutely destroy this rock, at some point you're going to have to cut, use your chisels and stuff like that to get this stone free. So,
Okay.
so please describe, Ken, how you're planning on using the laser to cut the stone.
Real quick, did you say that there was like little overhangs that you could stick your fingers under?
There's an overhang of rock that's been cut in. I mean, basically the side, the rocky part of the mountain. It's not vertical, okay? It has an angle to it, okay? And I'm saying it's been cut into to make this grave, okay? So the stone is vertical, so the top of it is hanging over the stone a little bit, okay? And then below that, where they were working on it, there's some space too where they basically cut into. There's going to be more flat rock cutting into it than on the top, but there is some, but it's not a lot. It's not like there's room for an entire band or something like that. Okay.
I was going to suggest use the laser, hold it at a very low angle to the ground to like slice off like thin teeth of material off the top until we get into it.
So you're trying to basically carve away the overhang until you can see what's behind the ceiling rock. Is that what you're trying to tell me?
Yes, because I don't want to just use the laser to punch a hole, because there may be something inside that I'd be destroying.
Sure. Okay. So go ahead and I guess give me a repair check, because that's the closest thing to what you're doing.
Okay. 7.
7. Okay. All right. So you guys are like, he turns this thing on and it just starts, the ray leaps out, hits the rock, and it just basically, it doesn't pulverize. It basically glows red and just starts popping and snapping and breaking off, because it's basically being superheated, and just so you're a lot of sparks are coming off of this, a lot of fast moving, a lot of smoke is rising up as so as he starts basically just digging this trench across the top of the shaving the rock away. I don't know how wide you want to shave this away, but or you just got to try to grind it back, a little bit at a time.
Shave it away so as that I can get until we actually get to where there's an
Yeah.
entrance, I don't want to cut large pieces, because if
Okay.
I cut large pieces, the laser will go through and it'll hit something we need to save.
So he's basically trying to grind it away. So essentially, he's just
The
basically playing
laser.
it back and
I'm
forth.
more trying to cut like slices away off the top until it can get in, or off the
He's
side.
using the laser like a lightsaber.
He's carving it back a bit.
He's trying to
Okay.
use it like a chisel, is what he's trying to do.
Okay, all right,
I'm not
fair
using it
enough.
like a chisel. It's like slicing bread. Or
All right.
Okay. All right. Well, just remember that that this is a beam, not a column. I mean, I'm saying is that
right,
the business end is at the end of the beam. Okay.
Yeah.
So you.
All right.
Okay. So, anyways, all right. So you do that. It's not pretty. Okay. But he does a serviceable job. Okay. Until finally,
All right.
it looks like he's actually punched a hole inside of whatever this is.
All right.
All right. So there's at some point, the beam basically disappears for a second because it basically punched a hole through the top of the tube. Okay.
Okay.
And so at that point, he could continue to do that, but like he said, he doesn't really know what's in there. Okay.
Okay.
Or Mike, you could then use this as an opportunity to take your chisels, and start putting it through the hole against the back side of the stone of the covering, and try to basically make it move out. You know what I'm saying?
We'll do that. Okay.
Yeah.
All right.
Okay.
Shut it down, Chen Wei.
All right. Go ahead and give me a repair check.
All right. Of course.
I will assist with the chiseling.
Close Mike here. Mike's repair is
Okay.
10. Okay. 6.
6.
6.
Okay. And what did you get, Gandalf?
My D4 exploded, and I got a total of a 6.
Okay.
All right.
So that's a 7, so it's not a raise. So what happens is that you pound on it, and basically the thing, you can see like stuff, so you can see it vibrate until finally the top of it basically busts out. Okay. So basically the stone now has a crack, a hole at the top where the stone is literally broken off, leaving the rest of the stone still in place. Okay. But it is essentially you've broken through to the outside from the inside.
Okay. All right.
Okay. So,
shine a flashlight in and see what we can see.
Okay. All right. Let me roll a die here. See which direction he's facing.
Just as long as you don't say, have you guys seen The Walking Dead?
Okay. You see what looks like a very decayed cloth, and that's pretty much all you can see right at this point. So like maybe some clothes. This is the top of the body, and it's got some decayed cloth on it because it has been a long time in that crypt.
Right.
Okay. So you really can't tell too much, but you get the feeling that considering the fact that it is so close to the top, you figure it's probably the rib cage, the chest area. So therefore, the head would probably be to the right.
All right. Okay.
And the legs, the stomach, the rib, not the ribs, pelvis and the bones of the legs are further to the left.
Is there enough stone cut away where Mike can flip the stone slab off completely?
No, you're going to have to keep working on it. I mean, right now, it was so well attached that when you hammered on it, it didn't like all just slide out. It just broke. But
oh wow,
you can still do it. I mean, you can keep breaking away at the top, from the inside.
All right. Okay.
I mean, now that you have an opening, you can actually do it from the outside. You can just start chiseling sideways and just start breaking off pieces of stone and just try to clear the top layer of it. Or
I think we should. I think we should do it from the outside.
Okay. All right. I mean, you can now see where the inside of the stone is. Okay, and it's basically about 3 inches thick. Pretty big piece of stone.
Yeah, pretty big.
And it's obvious, and most likely it was mined somewhere on this peak. By the way.
Yes. Sure.
So, all right. Anyways, okay. So you're going to start chipping away at this. Is that the idea?
Sounds like a plan.
All right. So as you do this, then eventually you see a whole lot of hair suddenly come into view. And it's white, and it's very gnarled, it looks like it's not snarled. I'm sorry. What I'm trying to say is it's like an old person's hair where it's coarse. Okay, it's obviously been brushed. It's not like matted or something like that. Okay.
Can we see the body then?
At this point, you're seeing what looks like the side of the head. Okay, so you basically the skull and the paper thin, of the dried basically it's like a mummified body. If any air had gotten in here at all, which doesn't seem very likely, the skin is dried to like a parchment.
Right.
Okay. So, so what now?
All right. We got.
Can we see anything besides the remains inside there?
All you can see at this point is there's some cloth. Okay, and then there is hair, and you suspect that that hair is surrounding the head of the body.
Right.
Okay, so you can either go and try and start working your way in the other direction, okay, or you can try to go vertically at this point and break the stone and therefore be able to possibly get your hands in more to the burial area.
Hey, do we have anything like a metal detector on us?
I don't think you do. You could have made one if you said you wanted it, but if someone wants to use a equipment token, I will say that yes, you made it. That's what we have those equipment tokens
I just say it's one of the things my mechanic's glove can do.
No.
Okay.
I would say not.
Alrighty. Very good. All right. Let me. I'm equipment tokening. Got this metal detector here. Let's see if there's any metal in there.
Okay. Does I would say yes. It does.
Okay. There's metallic stuff in there, guys.
Yeah.
Let's try to isolate things that are metallic down there and see what they are.
What kind of signal is it giving back? Is it what type of metal?
I don't think it can tell that. It can only just tell that it's something that
it's
responds
not. No,
to
it's
electromagnetics.
right. It's fairly. It's real. It's very basic.
Yeah,
Well,
it seems to be. It
with,
seems to
with
be
the metal
coming
detector,
right.
you can with a metal detector you can get readings on whether it is a iron or lead or semi-precious or stuff like that.
Okay.
Well, I don't know anything
by the
about that
tone.
sort of thing, but I think that would be a skill roll to be able to tell that sort of thing.
Okay. All right.
So I don't know. What do you have in the area of what are your skills in science?
I have die-8 knowledge science.
Okay, go ahead and
Yeah.
roll your science then.
Okay. Let's see
This
here.
really isn't a repair check.
All righty. Okay. All right.
I have knowledge metallurgy.
14.
Okay. That sounds like you should be. It sounds like you should be the one making the check then.
All righty.
Okay, what happens when both dice explode?
You take the higher. Basically, you resolve them separately, and you take the higher of the two rolls.
Okay, that's what I thought. All right, I got a 10.
Okay. All right. Well, as far as you can tell, it seems like there is there's something ferrous at the base of what you think is the head, the skull.
All right.
Iron.
Something ferrous.
Ferris Bueller?
Pretty much.
Bueller?
Okay. So, all right. So we've danced around this. I'm just basically going to ask you, which one of you is going to go and stick your hands into the dead body?
Gandalf.
I mean, unless you're going to go and get this entire stone out of the way and then still try to pull the entire body out.
I thought Chen Wei was going to.
Someone's going to have to feel it
I'm a
inside.
little reluctant. Remember, I'd originally said that I was going to do it if there was a monument that we could look into without having to release the body.
This is the situation, Chen Wei. I just want to know who I'm going to curse for all time for doing this.
Chen Wei's got the smaller hands.
Dig it up. Dig it up.
Chen Wei.
I'll wait for the volunteer.
Chen Wei's been volunteered.
Please, someone volunteer as tribute. I volunteer as tribute Chen Wei.
I do too.
Can't do that.
Party votes. Chen Wei does it.
Apparently, your two coworkers want you to stick your hands in there and find out what that metallic thing is and anything else that you can find.
We can't.
I say
root around in there.
Get like a hook or something.
It's like reaching into the garbage disposal to get something.
Oh,
that's
gosh.
right.
Well, I'm just glad I'm not playing Susan because she's heroic, and she would do it. Boom, right away.
Well, you guys tell me what you're going to do because I'm just the GM here.
I'm trying to think if we have equipment that we could use to take things out of there.
Just stick your hand in the damn
You
body.
only have a thin little area that you've been chiseling away. Okay, there's enough room that you could shove your hand in there and feel around, but you can't actually get the body out at this point.
If Angel was
up
there,
okay.
I'm
gonna chisel a little more so we can get a bigger. Also, if we can get a look at it.
So you want to chisel down so you can maybe remove the stone where the head is.
Okay, don't turn on the laser, Chen Wei.
So we can.
Roux, I'm going in.
Okay.
I'm going in.
Elbow deep.
Screw it.
All right.
Yeah.
Okay. Give me a dex check.
I'd be wrong. Let's see.
Come out with an eyeball on one hand, very sophisticated eyeball.
So what's item?
Big 10.
A
That was a
10.
mute button.
All right, that's an excellent roll. Okay.
Woo, hooty
So
hoo.
are you trying to use that 10 on the thing that was coming back as Ferris, or are you trying to use that 10 on anything else that you might be able to find?
The Ferris object.
Oh, okay. All right. So you feel around and you feel a whole lot of things that feel like bone, but then there's something that feels a little loose, and you grab it and you pull it out, and to your delight, it's not the jawbone. You didn't just rip the jawbone off his body. It is a pair of dentures.
Oh, man.
It's the metal attaching the different parts. It's holding it together.
Okay, let's take a flashlight
Jason.
and just shine it around in there. We can
Oh,
see.
no.
Well,
Sure,
no,
we
he
got a
didn't.
flashlight.
Okay, all right.
Hey, can someone
It's
picture
really
that?
still not that good for you to be able to do that. He just reached his hand in there and basically just tore around the bottom part of the face and pulled
Kind of
that
a bologna
denture out.
sandwich.
You have a really you're pretty sure that you felt teeth. No teeth because they were all gone. You felt the jaw and you felt this thing inside. Yes, it looks like that. Okay, so if you wish to go fishing for some more, you can try to do that.
Oh, is there more metal in there?
No,
You can always try to get Angel.
not as far as you can read.
I put the dentures.
Most journals aren't metal, so.
Yeah. Go, Gandalf. I already came up. Snake.
Why didn't you just open the
absurd.
damn thing? Is my question.
They could have. They decided not to.
Oh my God!
Is it
All
habit?
right. Okay. Screw it.
It wasn't obvious. You could open it.
All right. Yeah, you said we couldn't move the stone slab out of the way, Bruce.
Easily. I did say you couldn't. I told you could have used the chisel to loosen it all the way around and finally pry it off. But then Chen Wei said, "Let me use a laser to cut the overhang," and that's the route you went.
We're gonna go.
It's like watching the Three Stooges try to open a grave.
It's more like watching a whole bunch of people trying to loosen that jar.
I'm only a first level grave robber, Jason. Oh.
My mama never taught me about how to do this.
Yeah, I don't know nothing about grave robbing, Miss Scarlet.
All right, so who's making the plunge this time?
Gandalf.
Is that a real no, or is that just you shaking your head at this craziness?
I'm shaking my head at the craziness, and I'm going to start chiseling the same.
All right, yep.
Going around the top.
Okay. Well, while he's doing that, does somebody else want to reach in and try to feel around for stuff?
We'll use a flashlight this time.
You chicken.
It's not going to work. You still see the cloth and the hair. There's now a hole there because he basically stuck his hand in there and found the jaw, but he didn't go very deep.
Chisel.
Oh, can we actually move the slab then?
Once you basically cut all the way around it, yeah, you can. And it was always a possibility.
You're a chicken for
that's what we're doing. Oh, okay. Yeah.
I'm just telling you, it's not going to work. If you get further down to the left-hand side, the flashlight might actually work because then, the body is going to collapse because all the flashes.
I'll forget the flashlight for now. I'll wait till we can get the slab off.
All right. Okay. Gandalf and I are chiseling.
All right, you guys are like, we're going to hell for this. You finally chisel all the way around, and you start tilting it out a bit, and finally it starts leaning more and more. And yeah, you get to actually see there's, the body just kind of goes down on a slow, gradual thing, and then there's the body seems to be covered with, very with a lot of scaly type materials and other things like that. It looks an awful lot like the rotted remains of the clothing that you saw Furman wearing up on when he on the island, the guy that you were talking to.
Oh, okay, makes sense.
Okay. You can see the toes, the feet sticking up because he's not wearing any shoes.
Hi, Dana.
Things like that. Okay, but you do see that the arms seem to be
He stole his shoes.
Seem to be crossed over the chest or together to the chest.
Sure.
Okay. So you're going to keep getting this stone out, or you're going to wait until you get it totally out?
We'll get it totally out.
Okay, you get it totally out. It just lays down. Okay. You
all right.
Pull it free. So now you see the body, and it's a lot of hair. Okay,
no jaw.
Arms crossed over with like I say, some kind of a fabric, and coarse fabric and stuff like that. And
we have a new player joining us.
We do.
Yes,
Dana.
I'm just observing. I'm just observing.
Hello.
I know. I am so sorry, Grease. I am so late. I am so sorry.
That's okay. All right. So so there's the body. What do you want to do with it?
Oh, Chen Wei.
Take a selfie with it.
Okay, lay down there next to it and just go.
Hey, Angel totally would.
I take it there isn't anything.
You take a selfie, you trying to kiss it on the side of the face.
There isn't anything buried with it, like a journal or.
There might be something under the arms that are going across the chest instead of laying down along the side.
Now I get a flashlight and I look and I see what's there. Okay.
Okay, give me a
give me a nose check.
Give me a nose check at a -4. It's not easy to see in there. There's not a lot of space.
Okay,
these people did not cut extra room in the stone face of this mountain.
Okay, what?
Lazy.
Skill?
I just told you to do a nose check at a -4.
Okay. That'll fail. Let me try one Benny on it. Okay, that's okay. That'll do it. That's 17 -4 is 13.
Okay, you you actually can see something that looks like it actually might be a book or something.
Okay,
could be like a giant locket or something. There seems to be something under the hands.
Yeah, there's something. I say we got to be really careful because if it's a book, it could crumble.
Okay, be very careful, Chen Wei. Use your powers if you have to.
I don't have any power that lets me do that,
Your data buddy says, "Hey, it looks like you're trying to desecrate a grave."
You are fined 3
he
credits.
He says, would you like to start a form for that?
Yes.
I say I don't really want to desecrate the grave. I'm thinking something's been placed in there for us to get, and I want to get it. Can you see? Can you do some image enhancement and see what's in there?
Not until you. I don't have any penetrating. Your visor doesn't have the ability to penetrate stuff. Okay, so I mean, I can examine the light that's reflecting off of it and stuff, but basically he'll try to enhance it a little bit, so it does look like I said, it looks like there's something underneath his his hands.
Okay, we found something. We're going to have to do whatever is necessary to get the slab off and expose a large area, which allows us to gently remove the object. Because
you've already removed. Okay, Ken, were you not paying attention? They already removed the entire stone that was in front of the body.
You said there's still not enough space, though.
What part of
Between
stone?
the top of the body and the top of the grave that it's in. Yeah, the stone.
Okay.
Yeah, that's all I'm saying. You can go and grab the arms and
move, like, let's say the arm or something. Would there be enough space for us to gently remove the book?
There might be. Could be attached to the arm.
Okay,
one way to find out.
I'm going to attempt to move the arm and see if I can have a way to gently lift the book out.
Okay. All right. So
I don't think he's going to mind. He's dead.
You're trying to pull the hand free, and the hand separates from the arm, and, with a snapping sound, and you pull the arm out of the way.
Not going to get up, but still,
So you now have this dismembered hand sitting on top of another hand, and underneath it you can see there's some cloth, and you don't see ribs showing through it or whatever, and there's something else
somebody
underneath
help me
it.
Get this book out without pulling it in such a way that it falls apart, please.
There's not really enough room for more than one person to be there trying to get it.
That's true.
Everybody could get involved if you really want to do it. You can try coming in from underneath, just go in through the ribs and go up.
All right. Okay.
I break in on comms and say, just take the damn thing. It's not going to bite you. You already fucked it up. It's not like he's going to mind. He's dead.
I'm gonna try to.
Thank you for the words of encouragement, Jason.
Paper being fragile after 200 years.
No, Chen Wei, you're right. This body is very fragile.
So you can gently take it out. You don't need to
all right,
worry about hurting the skeleton because.
All right, okay.
He's not worried about hurting. He doesn't want to destroy whatever it is. This obviously been clasped to somebody's chest.
All right, okay. Okay, enough of this gay banter.
Gay banter.
Mike moves in, moves whatever bones are necessary, and gets the book.
Okay. So you basically pull the two hands, the cloth, off, and whatever it is out from the tomb. Okay.
Right.
You pull it outside, and you just see this big mass of stuff, bones and things like that. And in the center is the gooey nugget that you're going for.
Oh gosh!
How many licks does it take to get to the center of this Tootsie Pop? Is what I want to know.
Oh man, I tell you.
I don't think you want to know at this point.
It takes 3 grave robbers to get to the center.
Yeah, obviously.
It obviously takes 3 grave robbers. Okay.
And apparently 4.
We have it out.
Yay! None of us are gonna. We all flunked Indiana Jones school.
Yeah, apparently.
Very good.
What is it?
All right. So, are you going to try to manipulate it here, or are you going to take it back downstairs where you actually have?
It's his spare
downstairs. Let's get it downstairs.
Where we can put it on a table and where there's no wind and stuff like.
All right.
What is the thing you're holding?
Yes. What do I have in my hand, Bruce?
He's holding two hands. Okay, two bony hands. With some flesh, very dry flesh around it. Something underneath of it, and the cloth that was over top of the body of it. So basically, you've got those 4 things in like a sandwich.
I'm going to pull out a large plastic sample bag from my backpack and put it in and close the zipper.
That's a weird sandwich, dude.
Yeah, and
I eat big sandwiches.
Now go long, right?
Yeah, there you go.
Go long, Chen Wei.
It's in case I find a subway in the middle of somewhere.
Right.
All right. So once I seal it up, then we'll head back to the elevator.
Yeah. Okay.
Okay. Are you going to do anything about sealing up the body?
When you go over to the elevator, it's already gone because Angel was called it down to to go up.
All the time,
She wants to
yeah.
take a selfie with the body.
All right.
I do want to look and make sure we didn't leave another object in the coffin first.
Go
Yeah,
ahead
you
and
all
can
else
look.
fails,
remove
I'll
the
find
body.
it.
There might be more stuff in there.
If all else fails, I'll find
Okay,
it.
I will move it around enough to see if there are things under it.
A lot of moving. Okay. All right. As you move the body, it's going to disintegrate. So
Just
you
scarab beetles.
basically pull it out, and in pieces. Okay.
Chunky.
And and you find a number of rods that look like they're totems, where they've got things carved in them. There's a stick that has notches on it. That
Data buddy, what are those?
Make an intelligence check, Chen Wei.
The data buddy? Okay.
Why would the data buddy know? It's never been seen this culture
It's
before.
a stick, Chen Wei.
You found a stick.
The intelligence is a 15, miraculously.
Okay. You notice that there are 76 notches on this stick.
In the big parade?
How old was he when he died? Does it happen to be 76?
It does happen to be 76.
It's his birthday stick. He's
Yeah.
had it since he was but a child.
Okay.
Birthday picture with the birthday stick.
I say these.
What the spankings are given with.
God.
There's a number of decorated stones, and some and things like that. There's
little rocks that
anything
stay
that
live,
looks-
love, laugh.
There are some like I said, there's some things there's some wooden carvings. Okay, there are a couple of things that just absolutely fall apart. You're not quite sure what they are, but they look like they're decorative.
Okay, I apologize to the body. I know it's a body.
The
but
one that's
still.
laying all over the place outside
Yeah.
the tomb right now, right?
I apologize. It's probably won't cause you any harm, but I apologize for disturbing you, and I put the body back as much as I can.
Shove it all back in the thing. Okay.
There you go.
And I
you
leave
gonna-
the
You're gonna
personal objects
put
there.
the stone back up.
As much as I can. I mean, I'd probably have to
There's a big hole at the
pile
top, by the
up
way.
the pieces, but
Yeah. Well, it only broke. I mean, they didn't cut it into pieces. They cut around it. Okay.
Yeah.
So the big thing is where you went where they basically pounded it out and broke through at the top, and then where you cut. So that's open up there at this point. So, but otherwise you can put the stone back up. Sure. Tap it back into position.
We'll do that once Angel comes up for her photograph.
Yeah.
There you go.
Angel is strange, all right?
It's going to take a while for Angel to get there. When she comes back up, you basically have eliminated the evidence, unless of course somebody wants to share their data buddy recording of the incident, in which case she can then see it.
And she can,
We'll do that.
Photoshop herself into a picture.
Absolutely. There you go.
Yeah. Oh yeah. You can do all
Angel
kinds
is
of things.
strange.
Yeah. The skull could have its tongue sticking out if you want. Yeah. Of course,
get out of your way.
The tongue is nothing but a dried up piece of leather in his mouth now for real, but
You know what? It is what it is.
Yeah.
Beef jerky time.
All right. So you have something. I don't know what it is, but it's something. Yeah.
All right.
It's like the guy who saw Superman holding up the wing, and he says, "What's going on out there?" He says, "We got something. Just drive the plane. Just fly."
Okay. Very good. All right.
George Reeve,
Okay.
Christopher Reeve.
Christopher
Superman.
Reeve. Yep. I remember that. Yeah. Good
All right.
stuff.
So then you take the very long ride back down to the control area. All right, and go and take it into the workshop. Start doing stuff.
Right, here we go. Okay, here we are.
Okay, none of you guys know anything about this kind of stuff, so I'm going to basically just ask you guys to do a repair check to see if you manage to not destroy this.
All right, sounds good.
All right, so I'm going to say 2 people can work on this, so whichever 2 you want to do it, do it.
All right.
I think Chen and Mike have the better repair skills, so
Okay.
Yeah.
volunteer them.
Okay, my repair is. Hold on.
Uh,
Yeah.
okay,
Benny
I got it.
that. That's much better. 8.
12.
Okay. Okay, so Chen Wei, you were the one doing it, and Mike was helping you, right?
I
Sure.
don't know. I got an 8 anyway.
Okay, so that means you have a total of a 10 because Mike got enough to get a raise. That's a +2.
All right.
For helping. Okay,
Sounds
so
good.
that's a 10.
All right.
That's still a success with a raise. Okay, so you did pretty well, and basically you're able to separate the hands from the top of it and separate the cloth, and you see what appears to be a very old and in poor shape journal of some kind, as you were hoping. Okay, and the pages seem to be not in great condition, so that means that you're going to have to literally just try to separate it out with like razor blades or something like that to try to separate the pages, and then let the data buddy. I mean, it's a shame you don't have a scanner, a proper scanner, where you could just basically do slices, and then,
oh yeah, sure.
Yeah. So anyways, so you go and so go ahead and give me another check to see whether you're whether you're able to successfully separate these pages out and get something readable using your data buddy.
All right. Okay.
Trying using some infrared light and other kinds of light and things like that.
Are we making another repair check, Bruce?
It's the best you guys got going for you. Yeah.
All right. Sounds good. All right.
So who's doing this one?
Let's see.
Who's
You want to go? You want me to be primary, Ken, or do you want to remain primary?
Okay. I'll do. I only have a 6. What do you have?
I have a 10. I have a D10.
You have a D10. You do the repair.
Okay, I rolled a 5, Bruce.
Okay, and then Ken, what did you roll?
Want to Benny it.
Yeah, you're allowed to Benny,
Yeah, I've got 2. I might as well use one of them. Okay, Benny, 9.
Okay.
And I rolled a 4,
Ken?
So
you got, that brings it up to a 10 again. Okay.
All right, very good.
All right,
sounds
so
good.
Yeah, you're able to separate the pages out. There is some damage, but you mostly are able to separate the pages, and the writing appears to be legible enough that your data buddy can do some OCRing and stuff like that to try to make it readable or whatever, using different kinds of light, and you end up with a pretty a mostly readable journal. And it basically starts off saying, this is my last, this is an accounting of my life and the amazing things that have happened in it. May God be glorified and accept me into his kingdom, even though I may have made a deal with the devil. It's on the very first page.
Interesting.
Okay.
that's to Meller
and he basically goes on to talk about himself, about where he grew up in Russia and stuff like that, and the difficulties and the privations of growing up, where you only had literally what was the bare minimum that you needed to survive. clothing is actually handed down from generation to generation, and such. Though he but God saw fit to bless me with intelligence, and to bring and also a desire to learn about growing things, and to spend time in the city farms, and I was able to get a advanced education over many of the other boys and girls who grew up beside me, to the point where I was recognized as a great authority on how animals and plants and humans interact with each other to form what we call the ecology. And I was blessed with great insight in this area. And but then one day I was I was brought into a meeting where the priest swore us all on peril of our very souls to silence about what he was about to tell us. And it turned out that they had the idea of that they had been granted the right to take the firmaments, the oceans, from their resting place from when God created them, and to raise them up into the heavens, something that was not supposed, which was in contradiction to the very scriptures themselves. For God Himself separated the waters from the firmament, but yet they had, is now time to raise them up together again. And so, as a result, there was going to be vast areas where people to live, but had never had anything growing in it before, not growing as people would understand it. And it fell to me to be that person, to devise it. And that is where I met the great scientist, Frank Zamboni, who's saw something special in me. He said, I could tell that you were the man for the job. And there's some parts that you can't read here. And then it comes back in and says, while he was busy finishing his work, I set forth to go and complete the design for the great cities that were to rest underneath the ocean, where the oceans had been, to then spread from there out further until they met one another, with more and more plants, and that there were nuclear power plants going to be all over the ocean floor, providing power for these growing areas with artificial lights, and that is when I met the people that I came to call the I think it was Kuali, Kalani, the Kalani people. And these were people who lived in the area that was called, who were called from islands in the Pacific Ocean, and they were very, very upset about the fact that they were going to be essentially lose their entire culture. Their entire culture, which was all about being on the ocean and living their lives, as they could. And even though they were all, of course, Christians and Catholic, as we all are, they still held traditions that they felt was going to truly harm them if this was to be denied them. And so I didn't know what to say, other than I explained to them that no, what we were doing was not going to, there was going to be no more ocean, and what there was going to be fresh water, and so therefore it was not probably going to be something that was what they wanted, and so they were very upset and walked away. And I spoke of this to Zamboni, and Zamboni said to me, he said, in your mind, what can you imagine if you were to take these people and place them on an entirely different world? What would that be like? And it was like lightning struck me when I suddenly realized that he meant to take these people and put them up above the ocean, in the firmaments, not quite heaven, but not very close to them. And I said, "Is this possible?" And he said, "If with your skill, it can happen." And so it became a secret drive for me, a secret passion for me to see if I could create not just one ecology, but two. And so, and I kept sending, I said, this is what we're going to need. But I don't have the means of doing this. And he kept saying, just keep imagining it. The better you imagine it, the more possible it's going to be. He says, never underestimate the power of imagination and thought. And do not underestimate your potential and the potential of the other people around you. He says, keep it a secret, but ask other people, try, because no one's going to believe such a thing is possible. So you might as well, and so I engaged in a number of thought experiments to the various universities and places of learning and asked them about what it would take. And then I took their answers and compiled it into a theory, and I gave it to Zamboni. And Zamboni said, he says, put yourself toward fulfilling your primary, setting up the ecology for the cities. And then wait till you see what happens next. And so I did. And then one day, he called me. He contacted me over the from his roost high up there in Mount Everest, and he says the time is right. He says go and he says what you've wanted has been spoken into existence, much like God spoke the world. He says all you have to do is gather the people together and bring them to the mountain. And if you ascend the mountain as Moses ascended the mountain, you will find the promised land that you've been looking for. And he said, and I said, but what about my work? What about what I'm doing? He says, don't worry. He says, that will be taken care of as well. Just do your part. That's all that anybody asks of you, is that you do your part. And so I did. I contacted the heads of the Kaitlins, and we, in secret, managed to make a pilgrimage to Mount Everest, and at which point and while we were there, the Zamboni uplift occurred, and the walls up to the firmament went up, and the sun was blotted out, and we were in darkness except for the lights that were the artificial light, and Zamboni himself came and gathered us, gathered us together and took us up, and took us to his elevator, and took us up to the very top. And when we did, we saw the ocean all around us, frothing and churning from what had happened. And we saw this great tree on the top of Mount Everest, a place that was still melting with snow. We could hear the crackling of the mist on its leaves. And then we saw something. We saw on the side of the mountain, growing out, was a large mat, almost a mile in size. It had floated up onto the surface of the water. And Zamboni said that was our new home, and not to worry, because there would be more joining them, that the tree would provide as we grew. And so we went down onto the water, and we climbed onto the mat, and the mat separated and it carried us away. And now, as I lay here, almost dying finally, I will tell you the final secret. As we floated away, I looked back at Zamboni, and Zamboni had my face. And that's the last thing that's in the diary.
All right then.
Bananas.
So, so apparently this tree, in addition to providing electricity to the elevator in the base, also produces these fibrous mats that people live on.
So Zamboni
like
had his face?
Zamboni had his face.
So Zamboni basically became him.
Interesting.
It may explain why Zamboni suddenly disappeared.
Does George have a known death date or disappearance date?
No. I mean, not as far as you know. I mean,
or is he not famous at all?
He's famous for being the person who basically established the plants, the ecology around the cities and things like that.
Everybody doesn't have access to that.
Basically, the Data Buddy says is that George Goss continued to be in charge of the ecology of the cities for many, many years after the Zamboni uplift.
And where was he? Where did he die?
That's not in your Data Buddy. It would be in this. He says it would be in the stream, but I'm sure he is in state somewhere.
Now, when was Sanctuary City founded?
50 years after the Zamboni uplift. They've been in existence for 150 years.
Now, according to what George says, like they actually told people to come live up there.
in secret. Yeah.
Okay.
So essentially, they didn't go where they were supposed to go. They instead, he used his authority to basically get them over to to Mount Everest, and Zamboni conspired with him to get them up to the top. So if this account is to be believed, Zamboni and George Goss were two different people, yet his writing at the end says that when he looked back at Zamboni as he floated away from Mount Everest, he saw that Zamboni had his face.
So he's a shapeshifter then?
Well, if the diary is to be believed, sure.
Yeah. And obviously this guy wrote some of this at later times in his life. This is probably one of his most prized possessions, an actual paper.
Right, yeah, sure. Yeah.
Living on an island like that, it's the resources would be very limited.
His
Nothing
death
but banana leaves to wrap it
confessional.
up with.
What's that, Gandalf?
His deathbed confessional.
Yeah. This is like his he penned it at the end what he saw.
Well, so Zamboni didn't actually leave; he just became someone else.
And he probably had like all sorts of knowledge about how to make stuff using the crystals, which is how he managed to figure it all out. He didn't. He already knew.
All right.
No.
No.
We still have no more answers as to how he came up with the idea or the technology to make this uplift.
Like I said, he's probably some Temeleran agent. He came here with the information. He didn't have to figure it out because he knew stuff.
That's an amazing leap in logic.
Well, we did advance the theory earlier that maybe Temeleran have the ability to shapeshift, which hasn't been demonstrated up to now.
That's kind of like saying that, I don't know.
Now, Bruce, I have another question which is not related to this. The elevator works on crystals, but the elevator goes in two directions. Is there something in there that repels as well as attracts?
The elevator does not work on crystals.
Okay, I misunderstood
then. The lock to the elevator runs off the crystal. Okay. The elevator runs off of electricity and motors and such.
I rebuilt it. It sure does. Yeah.
Yeah. I mean, it has mechanical switches and things like that to cause the doors to open and shut, and it goes up and the tracks are connected to the walls by bolts and things like that.
Okay,
so.
Well, it looks like we found like one of the main things we need to find here. Now, there may be still information about the world or other bases. I mean, I guess he never said we have another base somewhere else.
There's no mention of that in his diary.
He mentioned Shanghai. Maybe there's something there.
Well, George Goss didn't say anything about that in his
There is no Shanghai. He came here.
Okay, or we take
and then came back as what's his name, who continued to as George Goss, who continued to do works after the fact, after the real George Goss left.
Okay, well, at any rate, I think it's not clear we're going to find anything else here unless we found the main historical information. Now we could, there may be some technical details somewhere, but I wasn't able to find any. And I do think we need to get the plane to work, but really, we want to be able to get at least to the portal and maybe other places. But it's a long, long distance away. I think we had some trouble getting the fusion plant to work with it.
We haven't even tried. How do you know we're gonna have trouble?
Bruce, did you say like it would be hard to like take it out, or?
I never said that.
Okay, I misunderstood something.
What I said is that there's parts of, the fusion plant itself isn't something you should disassemble, and
Right,
there
that's
are
what
no
I was
instructions
thinking
for that. Okay, there's instructions on how to turn it off and turn it back on. Okay,
And how to
So we
remove
really
it.
don't know how to put it in a plane then.
We know how to remove it.
Depends how heavy it is.
Even ignoring the weight, how would we hook it up? I mean, just
Well,
plug the wire in?
pretty much. It depends on how it's
Okay.
connected to the other thing.
That is true
What
too.
about it's like dangerous radiation or?
Not
No
from the
more than
fusion
what
plant.
we would already have been exposed to.
Well, if weight's a problem with the fusion plant, we have something that makes things weightless.
It is
That
true.
we do.
Right,
And I'm
so
pretty sure there's
interfere with
like
it somehow.
an engine lift and stuff like that in the mechanic shop.
If we have something that
all
makes
right.
things weightless, it's
In the
probably a lot
garage.
easier for propeller to propel us a long distance,
Yes.
Well,
Well,
if it has,
what we can do,
even without the fusion
we
plant.
can load up the plane, use the JADO to get the plane off, glide for a while. Once we get down to the point where the atmosphere is dense enough, start the engines and take the plane back to the fringe portal.
Yeah.
How are you going
And
to actually
reduce the
get
weight,
to
so
how are you going to actually get to the fringe portal considering the distance?
like I
Well,
said,
we
you
know we're in
reduce the weight of the
Tibet,
plane. If
and
you
we know
reduce the weight of the
approximately where we
plane,
were before.
Well, it's about 2,000 miles from here to Velikis Novosgrad.
All right, 2,000 miles.
That's
if you reduce
more
the
than
weight of the
the
plane,
fuel that
we
would
could
be
go a
in
longer distance.
what kind of fuel does a fusion power plant use?
Water.
hydrogen,
Probably.
tritium, things like that.
So we didn't really use a lot of power when we came over here. So I'm pretty sure it's got power. I don't know. I mean, you guys sound set on not doing this, so I'm just.
No, I'm fine
Can
with
we
using the
not
fusion power
mount
plant.
external fuel tanks onto the plane?
We could.
Yeah.
We haven't even begun to deal with that yet. So that's why I'm kind of curious as to how we've decided that it's not possible when we haven't even tried.
No, I think we could
Exactly.
try
All right.
it.
Exactly.
I would agree we could try it.
Well, you've got a big machine shop and stuff, so if you want to build like some electric motors, you can.
I have no
and attach
problem building
propellers
electric
to them. You
motors.
could.
I would agree.
Yeah.
Okay.
Now, I'm not an engineer, but I asked
I am.
Atari, does anybody know if we did lighten the plane and make it weigh almost nothing?
How would you do that?
He's thinking about using that device that made the walker with no weight.
Would the plane be able to go much farther on the same amount of fuel?
We're not using gasoline. This is a totally different system. And thus we don't need the internal combustion engine to run the engine, so it doesn't matter about altitude. Although we do have an air thing that we need to deal with, unless we pressurize the cabin. It's going to take some math is what it's going to do.
Yes.
And it's going to take some work and some trial and error to figure it out.
Absolutely.
I can't just answer your question about, I mean, if we remove more and more weight from the plane, then there will be no plane.
That
Planes
plane
are
is
already
not
pretty
terrible.
light.
Yes, agreed.
But once again, you can make a barn door fly if you put enough thrust behind it. So
there are people that say that, yes.
mass times acceleration.
All right. Okay.
Well, I'll let you guys discuss this and come up with your plan, and I'll be glad to answer any questions I can that relate to the world.
Okay.
All right then.
So if you're planning on building yourself an aircraft or modifying an aircraft to get over to Vlicky's Nose Grove, then have at it.
I mean, that was my thought, but
you know,
it kind of depends.
Place to go to.
That's my thought as well. I'm in agreement.
Even then, we're sort of low on resources.
Why?
Yeah, we're out of pie.
Pretty low on resources.
I'm down to 20 MREs.
Well, the plane can barely get us to the portal. We'll put it that way.
How do we know that? We have no idea how long this engine would run. I mean, it's not like it's moving this giant heavy walker across the ground. We're talking about utilizing, I mean, there's more to flight than just fuel. There's weight, there's balance, there's lift, there's
Agreed.
Yes. And
Very
if we
true.
have an efficient engine, then you actually kind of extend your flight time exponentially.
All right. Okay.
I mean, if we have a Mr. Fusion, we just feed, banana peels into it and get it up to 88 miles an hour and we can go through time.
More fun for everyone.
Exactly.
Okay. All right, Bruce, I'm going to start making plans to adapt one of the plane's engines. We have one fusion plant, right? We have one of them.
You have one fusion. Well, you have a very large fusion plant that's used to power the entire base. Okay,
I don't think
you
that's
want
going to fit in an airplane.
I don't think you want to take that with you.
No. Okay,
but you have a
walker,
small one that's actually powering the walker.
Okay, very
and by
good.
small, I mean size. It's a micro fusion plant.
Okay.
Yeah. See, the fusion plant that's in the Mount Everest uplift station. That's 1950s fusion technology. The one that's in the walker is 200 years later fusion technology.
All right.
2150.
Yeah.
Or later.
And it actually will talk to your data buddies.
Right. I'm going to start designing.
Mr. Fusion. Hi, it's Mr. Fusion. What can I do for you?
How to get the fusion plant to run the turboprop engine of the plane. One of the
Well, it's not going to be a
turboprop
anymore. What we need to do is build an electric engine.
I do not know how to build an electric engine.
Well, think about it. What does it take to? You basically have like an alternator that spins when you apply electricity to it.
Which turns the prop, which makes the plane go.
Right.
Electromagnetics.
Right. So we will basically be replacing the
engine
JP the current engine with a fusion powered motor that turns the prop.
Exactly.
Turboprop, basically.
Right.
All right. I'm going to get out my notebook and start designing that. It's what I do. That's what Mike does for a living.
Right. And to help you, use the term fusion electric.
All right. Designing a fusion electric system to make the plane go. Planes like this can fly on one engine.
Well, actually, just hold that thought for a minute.
I'm holding it.
Holding, he says.
Hold on to it. Hold it tightly.
Jeez.
Okay. So I'm thinking we're looking at something along these lines.
All right, go ahead.
Hold on, it's not working.
Do you want to take over the screen?
Sure, that would be easier.
I can share the screen with you.
Oh, that would be sweet.
That would be swell.
I can share my screen. Can you on the bottom? Do you have the option of sharing your screen?
Let me check.
It looks like a screen with a little arrow curving to the right.
As I say, we all should have the option of sharing screen share.
Let me click this.
Yep, I see it. I see it. Share your
arrow.
screen.
Oh yeah, there it is. And we'll go with this. And so we're basically looking at something along the lines of this.
You click the thing that says watch stream, by the way, guys, if you do. Yeah, I see it.
Okay.
I see it.
So you would put the engine in the nose of the airplane and run the electricity to both engines. So we'd make 2 electric engines to power the propellers. So they go woo, 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 woo. And this one goes woo, 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 woo.
Take a couple days, but definitely possible.
They counter so they don't create weird torque.
Yes, that is true.
I'm assuming it's a tail dragger and not a tricycle gear.
Okay.
I mean, it could be.
I don't know. Either one works. Probably tail dragger would be simpler.
Yeah.
It was good enough for Amelia Earhart.
Essentially something along these lines. It's not going to be huge. So we have the engine up front. You operate the 2...
When you say engine, you mean the fusion generator?
Yes.
We put the fusion generator in front and run.
How about the power plant?
Power plant.
Put the power plant in the front. Run the power to the 2 electric engines that'll spin the blades.
Mm-hmm.
Okay.
And if you really want to put JADOs on it, you stick JADOs on the rear of the fuselage.
I can build something like that.
Now, the question we're going to have is, how much power does the micro fusion generator create? And for how long? And what if it uses hydrogen? Does it strip it from water, or does it actually need liquid hydrogen to run? If it needed liquid hydrogen, that means it's got huge fuel tanks on the walker.
Yes. If you just put distilled water in it, that's different.
Well, and that's what we need to find out. That's why I'm going to go over what the walker. I mean, we found a manual on repairing the walker, so it would talk about fuel capacities and run time and all that other stuff.
Definitely.
So that's just kind of my thought, is that we would mount the generator in the front, the fusion power plant in the front, and then it would run out to the electric engines, and we should be able to get pretty good, decent distance with it. I mean, better than on a walker using the same power plant, because we're talking about something that's 5 times the size of it just mechanically.
All right.
Now, the other question I have is depending upon how many of the actual city states that still exist, will we be flying over any of them and intercepted by the Central Church?
Well, you'd be flying basically over the continental part of Asia and Europe.
Right.
Or actually, you're heading more north to Russia, but yeah.
The other tricky part is when we get there, since they have this framework built over the city of Veliki Novigrad, where are we going to land?
We won't need the plane after we get to the portal.
You could try to land on the rails.
That's true. There wasn't any framework over the lake bed, so.
Right.
Yep. Most roads you can land on. I have enough straight where you can land on them.
Yeah. Okay.
All right.
I'm just saying we have to go. It's not the roads. It's the fact that there was that metal framework over the city. that created the lights.
Ah.
Is what I'm talking about.
Okay.
Is that an electric engine or is that a turboprop? That's a turboprop.
Yeah, you're going to need basically something that can provide power, basically 260 kilowatt motors, power for 260 kilowatt motors.
260 kilowatt motors.
2 of them, yeah.
Okay, so we're going to have
520 kilowatts of energy is what you're going to need.
Okay, we'll check the specs on the fusion engine.
Well, I mean, we can make a 500 watt generator that sits in your backyard, so.
Yeah.
So.
True too.
I'm not really worried about the power supply. I'm just wondering how long it will how long we can keep it going for.
All right.
I mean, it's going to generate a certain amount of energy, but.
Yes.
Oh, that looks like something out of that. Anybody remember that old video game with the weird airplanes and like the not Germans and
there's a lot of weird
weird
video games
like this.
Yeah.
I want to say it was like Wild Aces or something like that. Anyway, so cool. I mean, Howard Hughes flew around the world in a twin-engine aircraft, pretty much similar to that, in 1930 something. So that was with landing for fuel stops, but
yeah. Okay. Well, I'm going to be building 2 electric motors that will power the propellers.
I'll figure out how many horsepower we're going to need.
All righty.
To be able to generate.
We've got to install the fusion plant in the nose and run cable out to the engines.
Right. Not that cheap aluminum cable.
No.
Oh,
we got silver.
The warehouse.
Yeah.
See if we got silver.
Now my walk through the warehouse wasn't too useless. Now was it?
No, we need copper wire. We need that can support a certain amount of amperage, and
okay.
I'm sure they have it because they have a fusion power plant here, and everything here is wired to it. So it's not like.
Yep, that's true.
Okay, well that was my. This is what I've come up with from all of this, and I'm glad we have a story.
All right.
Now that we know that Zamboni didn't go up, that means that there's no real need for us to go up and disturb the island people.
Right.
Other than they seem like decent folks.
He could have shapeshifted into somebody who did go up there eventually.
I don't think he shapeshifted. I think he probably was the precursor to the. Because like our visors present image of what we want to be what we want to look like, right? And so I'm not sure what he did. I mean, outside of game knowledge, maybe he was a freaking Melor, but why would he work to save all the people on there? Unless he ate them all. And that's why there's only like one city left.
Out of game, maybe it was a friendly Melor.
So 9 billion. So Mellors ate 9 billion people. Is that what you're trying to say?
Yeah, I mean he might be a fat fucker, but who knows?
Sure.
Yeah.
Oh.
Anyways, your characters don't know what Melor are, so let's not even.
I know.
Right.
So
we don't.
That's the only thing I could think of that I've ever said it shapeshifts. So does that make sense?
Yeah.
All right.
I was looking for the hey boy, you look mighty cute in those jeans. If you were curious.
All right.
I sent this to Kaitlin, and that's why I sent it.
Oh, very good. Yeah.
Ow.
All right.
That's weird.
Okay.
It's showing like all my screen. Or it's showing that screen.
So,
Bruce, we will execute the plan.
Execute the plan.
Well, okay. Tell you what, it's 10:17. So write up the plan. And definitely, have some thought as to, are you going to do anything to try to hide the heat of your your engine and all that stuff. Right now, this thing basically it has a cryogenic unit that basically it liquefies nitrogen out of the air to act as a coolant. Okay, that's in
that's
part
going
of
to
the
produce
walker.
a lot of heat.
Okay.
Interesting.
The idea was that it would move to someplace where it would be inside of a building or something like that, and therefore it could produce a lot of heat inside the building because it wouldn't get out. Okay, you can attempt to divert the heat upward so that you basically have like a thermal sheet, camouflage underneath. You know what I'm saying?
Okay.
But I'm just saying is that this thing does produce, a fair amount of heat. Okay.
But how are they using it in the walker to not show heat? I guess would be my question.
That's what I just said. They use liquid nitrogen that they basically use to cool the unit. Okay, so that the heat that comes off of the fusion, and its interactions, basically that escapes from the process is damped down, neutralized by that.
A question: if you can make it lighter, and then maybe even if it's not necessary to save fuel, that if we can make it lighter and use very little energy to push it around, wouldn't it produce less heat?
Yeah, the lighter it is, the less energy you need to do that. Okay, but I'm just saying is to just keep in mind how you want to handle that. Okay. Secondly, keep in mind how you want to actually land when you get to Balicki's Nova Grove.
Well, the one thing about making it light,
you guys could just make parachutes and just jump out of the plane. Just saying.
Too. Sure.
But if you want to take this, power plant back to Earth Prime, then
that's kind of what I was thinking because it's portable.
That is you're gonna need to think about how you're gonna be able to do that.
Okay.
So
the one thing though, Mike says, Chen Wei, if you make the plane too light, it's like flying a kite. It's not controllable. If the plane doesn't weigh anything, any side wind or buffeting will just will make it extremely unstable. The Wright brothers planes were very unstable. Only the Wright brothers could fly them. They were basically kites with motors. Making it light could be bad.
Okay, well, like I said, think about it.
Making it light, use less.
Discuss it amongst yourselves, and so that when we execute this, I'll have some idea what's going on. And keep in mind the fact that people are still looking for you.
Are they?
Really?
They probably are.
Well, I mean, speaking with what would be considered an appropriate amount of what is it? Paranoia.
Right then.